Hi guys, I'm Rajkamal and welcome back to the brand new series of AI product engineering. And in continuation to that, today I'm going to talk about one another interesting topic, that how can you Dockerize your Python application, right? Because this is something I have not taught you as a part of this whole Docker playlist. Guys, I believe you are diligently following me and my Docker playlist, which is pretty much essential, pretty much important. If you want to, if you are looking for to build a production grade, full-fledged AI system, so in that kind of application, that kind of system, Docker is not a choice. That is a necessity nowadays, right? Every other production grade application system, if you look at, be it any e-commerce website or Netflix, they are fully dockerized underneath. There could be different containers running with respect to their application features, right? And they will be interacting seamlessly. So pretty much everything I have covered so far is a part of this Docker playlist, which will eventually play a very important role to kickstart your AI journey, right? So guys, without further delay, let's get started. So guys, in today's for today's session, I have defined the agenda as well, though this will be not a long video, but definitely a practical one, so that you can able to learn something today as well, right? So guys, in our whole journey of Docker, I have covered each and every practical aspect which exists. Yeah, so as a part of today's agenda, we will be creating a Pythonic application, right? It will be able to take the user input and will be able to perform some operation as well, right? As per the functionality we have defined inside our Python based application, right? And it will be able to show you the output in a more interactive and beautiful manner. The application that uh, I have considered for today's demo, this is the weather application. Okay, and as a part of this video, I will cover the Python code that I have created, the Docker file, which is very similar. I mean, I believe till uh, I mean, by that time you will be able to understand the importance of Docker file, because without that we cannot create a custom image, right? Because here we are building a custom Python based application, right, which is a weather app. So there, in order to dockerize that Pythonic application, you would essentially require Docker file so that you can create a custom image out of it, right? Then the image creation process I will be telling you. Then the container execution. I mean, these are the repetitive things I believe you are confident enough by that time, by now. And running the application inside the container, and I will also show you the expected output. Okay, so excited? Okay, all right. So let's jump to the VS Code editor. Okay, I believe this is the editor. Okay, and you guys, you can see, I mean, when I'm saying I'm going to make this interaction interactive with respect to the application I'm talking about, because when it's very interactive, that means I'm going to interact through the command prompt. So inside the command prompt, see, I'm using this docker run command and mentioning this weather app image name, and I'm passing this input parameter as well. And with respect to input parameter, it is providing the weather information for the city, right? Fetching weather for the New York, and what all informations are available or it's able to fetch as a part of those API call. We are just out of those full of information, I'm just fetching a few information in order to show you as a part of this application output. It includes the condition, temperature, feels like, I mean, the temperature only, the humidity level, wind speed, visibility, pressure, each and everything. Okay, all right. So that will be the output. So I hope you are excited. So as a part of this weather app, what I have done, This is a simple Python code. These are the library which would be required for the parsing, for the request, right? For the error handling, for the JSON, for the for processing the JSON request, right? So get whether function we have defined, the city we are taking as a parameter, this one, right? Sorry, what I have done it. Okay, no issue. And then this is the URL. So this is something we are hitting, and we are just passing the city detail. So let's see what it returns. So in place of this, let me pass London and see what all information. Yeah, it's returning this after hitting the this API, weather API, which is freely available. That also you can leverage for your personal project implementation. So what all information see it's returning, that's, I mean, it's returning so much of the information, but out of that I'm just picking this much information for today's demo, right? That's how you can also be selective uh, while processing this JSON response, right, from this as a part of this API call. But again, I cannot guarantee this information are the real-time information, because whatever the information has been available on this server where it is this API is hosted, it's able to provide those informations only, right? I believe these are the static only, not the real one, but definitely it will give you the flavor of the real time uh, style of doing the things, because in project also you will be using some API hitting it, right? It doesn't matter. I mean this API hit is providing you real time information or not, it's okay, right, for the learning purpose. But the idea is, this is the code I have defined, right? So it is going to hit that and passing this encoded city information, and then in the try catch try except these blocks, I'm just handling the exception basically. See, these are the URL lib dot request. These are the library used to make the request to the API call. We are passing the URL and timeout seconds we have also mentioned, and we are just getting those JSON record as a response. Then we are parsing with the help of JSON, then returning the data. And in case it's throwing an error due to that server down, it could be might be the API which is hosted on a certain server, it's down, non-operational. In that scenario, there could be some error code it will be returning. With respect to that error code, we can mention that, and through the exception, right? Then there could be connection related error, there could be parsing related error, right? I mean, in future they might have changed uh, the whole schema through which also it could break while parsing inside a Pythonic based application or weather application. It could be the chances. Then display weather for the output formatting, I am using that function. I'm just passing that JSON record. This is nothing but a dictionary, and through that I'm just parsing it one by one, and then I'm using this print statement so that in very uh, beautiful manner I can create this output interface so that it looks nice, right? So that is also important. And then here I'm also handling the try catch only exception handling. So with that only, I mean, while parsing there could be some error, uh, uh, I mean, some error can come while parsing as well. So by that time, to handle that scenario, I'm using this except block, and if there is any parsing error, I will call it out as a part of this print statement here. Then there will be the main function from where I will be calling this get weather function, and then the display weather function, so that it will make the request, get the data, process it, and provide the output in the beautiful manner, right? For that, because all the call will be made from the main function only, right? So these are for the formatting, and then welcome to the weather app, all blah blah things, these things I'm talking about. Then see, fetching weather for New York, all those things. uh, I mean, we are handling uh, very efficiently with help of these function calls only. Okay, get weather function and the display weather function only, and then finally we are calling from the main function. So that's it, really is a part of this weather.py file explanation. I hope this is very simple, and even you can, if you are not confident enough, you are not pro in Python, these are, I mean, these are the very basic things you can learn by yourself. And even you want to leverage AI coding agent, they are also, you can just open the, I would say, this AI coding agent. Suppose in my case, let's, there is a client or not, client is there, and let me configure it first for the free one. So these are the free one I have selected, then it's done. Then I can use that file as a context. Okay, or I can add the file, it should get it here. Okay, it should ideally show it here. Simply we can add context. Why it's not getting added here? Let me add it. Okay, yeah guys, I got the option. You need not to go here, just click on this add context, add file, and it will show you all the files available inside your current project directory. So currently I'm referring weather.py. Okay, and then can you please explain what all things are happening and complete flow of application of weather app. Okay, let him think. Okay, let him think, and parallelly, let me show you the output. So guys, here in this Docker file, right? In Docker file, we are using simple Python image with version 3.11. It's lightweighted, that's why it's mentioning as a slim. Then I'm using working directory as an app. Then I'm copying this weather.py file to the container, and then I'm using this user add command, and using that user add user command, right? For mentioning the user level information. Then as an entry point or command we can mention, and this is something which will get triggered. And because if you remember, we have used the run command as well, right? So it is similar only, but it depends if it's a, I mean, we are doing the backend code development, or we are working on the front end component development, or it's DB related. So depending upon the services we are using, this execution command gets changes, right? So here for the Pythonic based, it will be entry point and the Python and simple weather.py, right? That's how even in the command prompt we usually run the Python code. It will be Python space app.py, like that, right? So here, if I'll run that, it will create the image out of it, the custom image with respect to my weather app. That's the whole idea. So suppose I'm running that Docker run, it will run, if there is existing image, it will just remove it, right? Or the container, it will just remove it, then it will again create that image and run it so that container will be visible. But here let me tell you, no container will be up and running, because it's a simple, it will run but it will again get stopped, because there is nothing to I mean no other activities or open-ended activities for which container will be up and running. It's simple input which we are passing from the command line, and with respect to that we are getting the command line output only, right? So it is exiting from there, and if it is exiting, right, the whole process, it's happening within the second in that duration. So in a blink of the time, so even the container is running, it got stopped, you won't be able to see it, right? So but I will show you the corresponding image will be created, and it will be present inside the image section of Docker desktop. Okay, so let's run that and see what's the weather in New York City. It's running. See, guys, it's I mean, this is the output, very nice or very interactive, uh, very beautifully formatted output. Welcome to the weather app, fetching weather for New York, weather in Hoboken, New Jersey, United States of America. Condition is clear, temperature is this much, feels like this 25 degrees Celsius, humidity is 90, 59%, wind speed is that much, visibility, pressure, blah blah things, everything is mentioned there, right? So that is the output, which is the expected output. That's what we're trying to discuss it here, right? We are not using any end point here, uh, through which we can say that it will be up and running. That is also not happening, right? So I mean, the container running and demolishing, those activities will be happening very quick, right? So you will be able to see only image. So let's go to the Docker desktop. Here if you see, in the image section you can see the weather app. Okay, you can see that is there, what all things we have mentioned, it's running. See, adding this user app, user, each and everything, entry point, weather, blah blah things, each and everything is happening. uh, and the container, you see nothing is with respect to the weather app, nothing is there. See, you might get confused here why it's saying 2 days ago, because I have created the application 2 days back only. Since I'm running it, right? So there is a underneath because with respect to this command, whatever I'm running, docker run, so it is removing the container, right? However, container is not I mean existing, so it will skip that part, but it's not removing the image there. Then it's just picking it up and then again running it, spinning the container, generating the output, then again it just gets removed. Why it's I mean why it gets removed, because I'm not mentioning endpoint, so it's not serving anywhere. So that is the point. For the backend front end, you remember we used to mention some endpoint, right? So that is the place where it's keep on serving. Here we are not saying us to serve on particular port, so it's not serving. Simple. Let's see for London. And by that time you can see, if I was talking about, if you're not aware about and you do not have understanding how this application is working, right? You can take help from the AI coding agent. They will make your life easy. The documentation part, the understanding part, it will act as a tutor or teacher for you. It's able, I mean, see, explaining each and everything. What is the file? What is the purpose? See, these are the file. What is the purpose? What is the logic mentioning here? We are fetching from the API, parsing it, displaying it. That's what we are essentially doing, right? Then there is a Docker file. This is for the containerization setup for the running the app via the Docker. That's what we learned, right? And that's what the idea about Docker file. Then this is the main method from, I mean, the entry point for this application. Then there is a main function inside that, what all things it's doing. See, printing a welcome banner, printing a welcome banner, then accepting city input in the two ways, command line and interactive command. Each and everything is guys mentioning. See, with respect to the every function as well, it's giving you walkthrough about what all things are happening. HTTP, what kind of exception handling we are doing. We are doing at HTTP error level, URL level, error level, because URL can also be compromised, or can be incorrect, right? So with respect to that also it can throw error. Then JSON decoding error could be one of the potential reason of error throwing. Then display whether app, whether function, what is doing, it's taking data. Data is nothing but dictionary that we are fetching as a part of JSON records, right? So see, what all information at a high level we are picking: city information, region, country, temperature, Fahrenheit, each and everything it's mentioning. The error handling, what you have done is a part of what part of this display weather function. This is also mentioned here. Each and every bit of it. Then it started explaining you about the Docker file as well. Even it can explain you much better than me, right? See, user app. So here I'm using as an app user, not as a root. That's the uses of this new command. So new learning, right? So we have learned so many commands, so this is something new you will learn today. Then user add, change owner permission, creates a non-root user. That's what I created, the app user here, and given some permission. That's what it's doing, right? So app user we have created, and we are giving the permission at the app level. Whatever the code is a part of this app folder, we are giving permission to the new user, which is app user. Generally we have done the demo, those project executions a part of root user admin, right? Then it's nicely created the flow diagram and explaining you each and everything how the flow is passing. So control flow diagram is also it's giving you. So it doesn't matter you know Python, you know Node.js or not. You should be clear in your mind what whole process and how you can navigate through one component to another, right? See, through this, anyone, even the child, a small kid can understand, okay, the flow is going like that, what all things are expected, what all parameters we need to pass, and as a part of input, what will be the output, each and everything, right? How to run, even giving the way to run through the Python, you can run that application in your local. Then from the from the Docker, what all ways you can choose it, right? See, even you can use it in more interactive manner. So there are two modes, right? The Docker run RM. This is the interactive mode. We have used this one. Let's check what is happening in Tokyo. And then the key design aspects, the zero dependency, there is no dependency, free API we are using, security level, what all things we are doing. Docker container runs as a non-root user. So we are not giving you access at the root level. We are just creating a user and then giving you using that app user, just execute the code. So whatever the permission we have given, those many endpoints access can be done, or those much application access could be done from your side. So security is one of the aspects we are uh, covering as a part of creating non-root user. Then error handling we are doing, CLI interaction, each and everything is done, right? So for Tokyo as well, in Japan, for Siknezima, Tokyo, Japan, the condition is partially cloudy, temperature this, pressure is this much. So guys, I have covered pretty much each and everything as a part of today's session. This session will be the last session, and I'm concluding my Docker playlist, the essential Docker understanding which would be required you as I mean, as a AI engineer to manage, right, maintain and managing or developing end-to-end AI system with the help of Docker. I hope this whole series help you understand each and every nitty-gritty theoretical aspects, practical aspects, and now confidently you can work on your personal projects, freelancing, and even the company project, right? And I mean, just start signing everywhere, right? That's the whole idea. So, guys, I have covered pretty much everything, and with that, I'm signing off for today. And I hope you have learned today something, right? So, with that, I mean, I'm wrapping up and saying keep learning, keep growing, and keep building together. Thank you.